upcoming. We're going to talk about a bunch of NeftyBlocks upcoming features and additions, but right now we're still talking about supplying liquidity to the Nefty wax pool on Alcor, making that liquidity available to the swap feature so that when somebody uses Nefty to buy on the platform, that transaction can happen seamlessly behind the scenes, and the buyer seller doesn't experience a slippage or a percentage difference in the pricing because the liquidity is available. It's just catching people up since I just went live. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started supplying the liquidity again now that the price isn't like jumping around as much every day, although obviously the marketplace is still very immature, and immature markets are full of volatility, which is great.
Yes, and yeah, right now we are. Yeah, I think the token is still finding its price. When we started, it went up. Now it went down to basically to the original price, maybe a little bit above the original price, but it's yeah, it has been kind of stable over the last couple of weeks, I think. With of course with some spikes and going up and down, but I think that's okay. But in the end, what we want is to really have a deeper pool to yeah, to have a way more stable price and allow to have more transactions done with Nefty.
Yeah, definitely. And the deep liquidity is like paramount for that, because you need that liquidity has to be there. If I'm on the marketplace, if I want to buy like $1,000 NFT and the seller wants wax for it, but I want to use Nefty token, I need to be able to swap $1,000 worth of Nefty into wax without it hitting the price. So that's why that's very important. If people are wondering why we care so much.
Yes, and that's a problem that we have right now, and we have to come with a solution also, because when you're trying to buy something with Nefty, if the price moves too much, then your transaction fails because the conversion was done before. So yeah, there we also need to have some some improvement.
Yeah, and I think a deeper liquidity pool like definitely helps a lot of those problems. Yeah, which is I definitely I'm looking forward to like the incentivization of liquidity providing. I know Battle Miners just started doing that too with their token, where it's like if you supply their token to the liquidity pool, like for wax paired with whatever token it is, since they have several different ones, they like will airdrop you more of that token or something like along those lines to help kind of mitigate the risk of that like decay loss, because the markets are so volatile and the pools are so shallow still.
Yes, and that's something that we want to work on. But as I told you in our conversation, we need to verify all the legal aspects of doing something like that.
Yeah,
because it
definitely
might have some implications. And yeah, one thing that we don't want to do is risk our business. I think we really have to keep the long term in mind, and anything we do should be done in a way that it's sustainable over time.
Yes, definitely. And I feel like your approach that's the right mindset to go about that, because you're not trying to make something that'll make people money this quarter, but you're trying to make something that will build value over the next several years, and
exactly that's the idea. Yes.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh man, I'm so excited. So oh hi Marcy. So what the first thing I heard you saying on the stream that was like blew my mind was you're saying that Nefty is going to be introducing like a marketplace where you can buy and sell the same way you can on Atomic Hub. Like you don't have to be the collection owner anymore. You can just list your own NFTs for sale, and then eventually do that in Nefty or in Wax or in any other coin,
any other token. Yes.
Yeah, that has sufficient liquidity and is able to be added to the that's fucking wild.
Okay, so here there are many things. Let's go one by one. So first thing is that it's the marketplace. We will be introducing the marketplace, and that will launch tomorrow. Because the idea is that we'll launch it together with the new liquidity mining cycle. So anything that people buys on the Nefty marketplace will be considered for the liquidity mining. So now since we started, we have the rewards, and rewards are divided between sellers and buyers. But up till tomorrow before 6 p.m. UTC, sellers were only the collection owners. From tomorrow on, sellers can also be any members of the community who want to sell an NFT, and they will be getting Nefty for selling using the Nefty marketplace. And people also buying on the secondary market will be doing liquidity mining when they buy.
Yeah, so let me elaborate on that really quick for people who aren't familiar with NeftyBlocks. NeftyBlocks is a marketplace platform where right now you can buy drops, and as a collection owner, they have a lot of tools that let you create very cool things like blends and things that you probably as a collector have participated in. The platform itself, which is right here on the screen share right now, has its own token called Nefty Token, and the Nefty Token can be used on this platform to purchase NFTs, or if you're a collection owner, you can stake the tokens to get access to tools to create things like the blends that I was talking about. But the way that you get the Nefty Token is by buying or selling things on NeftyBlocks. And they have a distribution model, which he's referring to right now. It's called Liquidity Mining, which is every time you make a purchase on NeftyBlocks, the platform, you earn basically the amount that you spent on that purchase creates like a weight that you have. And at the end of each week, which is happening Wednesdays, every Wednesday, the total weight of all the purchases that happened in that cycle get added up, and then an amount of Nefty Token is distributed proportionally to everybody who participated. So what he's saying is now when they're creating a new market where you can just list your NFTs for sale like you already do on Atomic Hub, you will be generating a passive return in Nefty tokens for just basically doing NFTs the way you already do them. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, so that's part one of what is coming indeed. So and it's good, and so far we have a very simple marketplace. The main difference with Atomic is that right now, unlike Atomic, that where you see every NFT there from every collection, our marketplace is per collection. So I imagine that you already noticed in NeftyBlocks, every collection has its own page, and there they create their drops, their blends. You can open packs and so on. So now from tomorrow on, there will be an additional icon there with the marketplace, and people will be able to buy and sell NFTs directly in the collection page.
God, that's cool. And as a seller, if you want to list your NFT for sale, can you list it for sale in Nefty if you like don't have any Nefty token?
Not at the moment. That is something that is coming next. First, we need to we'll release it using only Wax, which is the simplest version. Using the Nefty token, and not only the Nefty token, but other tokens too will come. But that will have to come over time. And and more than a technical complication right now, it's related to what we said previously. We need to make sure that the Nefty Wax pool is deep enough so that we don't move the price with that amount of transactions, because that could be a problem for people who's buying and selling. So so we have to find the way to have deeper liquidity in the pool.
Yeah. So what happens behind the scenes when somebody buys with Nefty tokens an item that's for sale for Wax is the Nefty tokens go through the swap on Alcor, and then the result of the swap, the Wax result from that swap, gets sent to the seller.
I think I can actually do that right now. I can demonstrate. Let's see, because it looks like I had a Nefty reward, right? Was that enough to?
Oh yeah, so here you can actually show how you can get your Nefty rewards if you go to wallet and then in the center tab there where he went.
This was exclusively all I do on this account. This is an account for buying Neon Space stuff. So this was just for buying the Neon Space drop. I got Nefty back as a buyer. I got 84 Nefty back.
Hey, that's
I can claim
so
this
cool.
Nefty.
I was gonna buy those drops anyway, so getting something back for them makes it so much more fun. And then I almost always take the Nefty that I claim and I go buy something from like a collection that I have nothing from yet. So just like it's a really cool way to like
It's not an insignificant amount of rewards too.
No,
I mean,
it's not. It's
85
like you can buy
Nefty
cool
is
NFTs
about
with
like
it.
20 wax. So I mean, you could buy
Yeah,
another
that's-
pack with that. You know.
I'm signing
Yeah.
in. All right, so did I claim it? Boom, balance claimed.
It
So now if I
added
go
up.
back to this drop, where you can pay with wax, you can just click the swap button right here. And it says paying with Nefty 44. That's half of what I just claimed. So boom, I can just buy a pack. Boom.
Now, boom, and now the collection, like you've paid with Nefty, but the collection owner was paid in wax, and the same
Exactly.
eventually will be the case. If you wanted to, you could sell, like if you don't have any Nefty tokens and you wanted Nefty tokens, you could, in the future, when the feature gets added, I know right away it's going to just be wax, but in the future you could list something for sale in Nefty tokens, and the buyer could potentially be buying it in wax, and you would still get your Nefty tokens.
Yes, exactly. And in the end, in the future, the idea is that you should be able to list your NFTs for any token that it's available.
Check this out. We got
Yeah, here we go. This is an
Yeah.
example of that.
Yes, this is like they are like the what's the name when you're in the car, the dummy guy with
test
Like a guinea
Test
pig or
dummy.
something.
something like the guinea pig.
The guinea pig.
Right now, there are 3 collections with whom we are testing that, and that's it's a blue day. Well, it's Uplift Word, Yoshi drop.
Yoshi drops and then Blue Deck.
Yes,
Blue Deck
and
Uplift, right? Upliftium.
Yeah, and this one is a new. It's a Blue Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
they're like
I've
the
been
same team
following them.
behind Uplift and Yoshi drops. They're kind of all the same people.
Yes. Yes,
And
exactly.
they're also looking at creating some kind of like swap or exchange is what I'm gathering.
Yeah, and that's what you have there. Those are the memberships for the incentivized liquidity pools.
Oh, I see. So you'd get incentive through owning an NFT and contributing liquidity potentially.
Yes, I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah,
Corey already explained it to me, but I have to go through the details again. But yeah, these are the memberships, and these will allow you to add liquidity to the incentivized pools or something like that.
I just think it's cool. I can buy stuff with Lithium, Nefty, Wax, and Yoshi Bucks all just directly. Like before, you could do Nefty and Wax, but now Lithium and Yoshi Bucks, that's new. And like, yeah, that's just super cool because it means people can add more tokens. Like, I don't know if Kate wants to do it. I know Kate is big into their token.
I mean, I feel like that brings a lot more traffic to Alcor as well, having this interchange of tokens.
That's what I was going to say.
So it's good for Wax as a whole.
So we have talked before on on Tuesdays we always talk like Wax blockchain tech stuff. We've talked before about liquidity pools and earning the yield. So every time there's a transaction, when a swap takes place, the people supplying the liquidity to that transaction are earning 0.3% of the total value of it. So if you participate in taking your Nefty tokens and your Wax and pairing them into the liquidity pool, into the swap pool on Alcor, the idea there is now that when the marketplace opens on Nefty and people can buy and sell in Nefty token and Wax or whatever, all that traffic should then drive swap traffic to the liquidity pool. And, those of us who want to expose ourselves to the upside of that potential like yield from that volume could supply liquidity. And then Juan was saying they're actually working on potentially incentivizing further the liquidity to mitigate the risk that you assume as somebody supplying liquidity. Like I also mentioned before, when I initially started supplying liquidity for Nefty Wax, I was gaining Wax on the Wax end as the token was going up, but I was losing Nefty, and the rate at which I was losing Nefty versus gaining Wax was a net loss. So I was actually I was losing money for supplying liquidity. And just because there is a yield in a liquidity pool, what you really need as a person supplying liquidity to make any kind of real return isn't necessarily price movement. What you need is volume. So what you'd prefer is a coin price that's stable with a lot of volume. And that's a future that I could see realizable through this type of utility for these tokens and these pools. So I'm really excited.
and that's exactly the idea behind the Blue Deck. Incentivizing the liquidity people who are providing liquidity.
Yes.
And and I think that will be very good. And yes, right now the challenge we have for the tokens is that most of the Alcor pools for the less used tokens are not deep enough. So this experiment we are doing with Uplift and Yoshi and Bluedick is that we have to determine how deep we need the pools to be in order to be sustainable over time. In the beginning, the only thing that we are going to do is swap the platform fee, which is at 2%. We will swap it back to Nefty or to Wax, depending on which pool exists on Alcor. But in the future, everything we want to be able to switch everything on the same way we do it with Nefty. But for that, all the pools have to be must have enough liquidity, and that's not always the case. And that's something that's a challenge at the moment.
It's definitely not an easy challenge either, because liquidity is, unless you're personally supplying all the liquidity is supplied by the community, and it can be pulled away as quickly as it is supplied. So it's it's a very I'm really excited.
Especially on this blockchain, like as you always say with Uniswap, like you think about your position in months because the gas fees on Ether to take the stuff in and pull it out is so big that you kind of have to leave it there. On Wax, it's so easy to just throw it in and out that it really does go out as easy as it goes in.
Honestly, if there's an NFT sale, if I see something I really want and it costs like $1,000, I could pull $1,000 of liquidity away from my pool instantly and use it to buy something, which
and I shouldn't have.
And you can see it on the graph where it's like, here's the liquidity, and the available liquidity just took a spike like downward, and that affects everybody who's trading against that pool, because now you have a worse slippage rate. Now everybody, so it's like, ideally what we want would be, the many people contributing not huge amounts each, so that way if one person leaves their position entirely, it doesn't matter, like you wouldn't notice.
And that's part of the problem, because right now we are the biggest liquidity providers, and it's not that we don't really care if we are losing or not at the moment, but we know that we have to provide that liquidity, and we are seeing this long term. So for us, that's not really important. But just as you said, if for some reason NeftyBlocks says, "Oh, I will no longer provide liquidity," this will be very, very bad, because we remove like 80% of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, as a person who holds the Nefty token, it is ideal that you guys slowly reduce your position as the backbone of liquidity providing. That ideally, if the community can lift that up, it just decentralizes it more, which is why most of us are in this space anyway. And so if you can have a basis of holders that create the backbone themselves, then it you're a very great man, but it puts less power in the hands of the fewest people.
But now that I see there are other providers.
Yeah, I'm that green wedge there.
Wow.
That's yield farming is me.
Which one are you?
Yield farming.
The really big one? No, can't be right.
You're not that one. That's marketing.
Okay.
If you're which one are you? Oh, you're just looking at the Nefty. I thought you were looking at the Nefty pool.
How do I look at the pool?
Yes,
token holders.
So you're looking at the Nefty token.
Pool, but no,
I think you have to look at the Nefty. Are you talking about the liquidity pool? It's
how do I find that on
token?
Blocks?
It would be like the Nefty
Here,
Wax
I'll send
token.
you a private link. I'll send you the Nefty pool.
Because you can't just search tokens right on.
No, it's kind of shitty to find. Here, I sent you the link in private chat.
Max is the one that's always snooping the leaderboards, not me.
Yeah, here, this is I just sent it. This will be the Nefty.
There it is. Yeah, it's the Alcor RAM.
Pool. Yeah,
there we go.
Want to look at. I am the green wedge on this one.
You're yield farming's 3.2%. That's max.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm helping. NeftyBlocks is 80%
ecosystem.
Yeah,
and whoever this is, they have a ton too. They have like twice as much as UMax.
I
Whoever
think,
X3
dude, I was
FTA is.
second place for a while.
He has a
and then
new sworn
they
enemy.
just kept growing and growing. I think that's a big time supporter. That position is growing too. They're not like, that's not a one time in and sitting. That thing's been growing. I'm watching that person. That might be the person with the bot.
Maybe, but in the end, the idea is that NeftyBlocks should be only a very tiny slice on that pie, and to achieve that, we need to incentivize liquidity providing, and that will come.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And that'll be huge. I think like that's a big. That was initially a little bit of a point of confusion for me reading through the white paper because of the words liquidity mining for the distribution model. That really like it threw a few people for a loop, I think. But that's because that's what that is incentivizing liquidity is usually referred to as liquidity mining in like the broader DeFi space.
I think it's relatively new to the wax space in general to have DeFi in general, but also projects providing additional incentives for liquidity providing. And so I think it's a good trend, particularly because the platform is so conducive to people coming out with utility tokens for their games or for their projects, that as more people drive to support Nefty, it also supports just DeFi models and wax in general, which I think just having more volume and liquidity in everything is good for the growth of wax as a whole. Because Alcor is pretty great, and we, all of us probably use it all the time. But in the grand scheme of DeFi, it is a small fish in a very big pond.
Yes.
Grand scale of DeFi, it does about what the Uniswap Ethereum USDC pool does in 1 hour. Alcor does in a week. Like, it's a tiny slice of it.
But also, as more people start putting more foundation, more money into the platform as a whole, then you have less of these volatile swings of these tokens, and the health of these tokens and the health of these projects. However much it is great when you're like, you bought you have 1 million of whatever coin, and then it just skyrockets, and you just like made like 1,000%. I think sustainably it needs to kind of hold steady so you have less fluctuation when people decide to sell.
Do you want to go more in depth on the liquidity mining? Because I know some people were confused about that, and we kind of breezed over it earlier because we understand it pretty well. But do we want to like break down how those multipliers and stuff work for people that might not be?
I think initially in the white paper it said that the split was 50-50 between buyers and sellers, but I think that's been updated to 80-20, correct? Or
80-20. 80-20 was for the second week. Then we moved to 30-70.
30-70, and the buyers are the 70, by the way.
The buyers are the 70.
Yes.
But
okay, so
that will change tomorrow, because we will start experimenting again, and we hope that we have a lot of support from the community, and that they really use the marketplace. So the idea is to go back to 50-50, because people will be selling NFTs, and so if you are selling your NFTs and you are listing them from NeftyBlocks, there will be more rewards for the sellers again. We want to make this in balance again, to start experimenting and finding what's the right balance between buyers and sellers now that there will be a secondary market.
Yeah, that makes sense, because before the only people that sell were drops for collections, but now anybody that can buy can sell. So it's no longer like, 50% is going to creators. Now it's open to creators and people using the marketplace. So it seems like it's a lot wider net of people that can do it. I guess I have a question about if I'm a person, not a collection selling, how does the multiplier count for me? Is it the same as an artist multiplier? Is it the same as the buyer multiplier? Like, is that like when do you get a multiplier when you sell? If you stake?
Not exactly the same, but when you're selling, you will get the same multipliers that you have here as when you are buying, and the formulas will be exactly the same. The only thing here is that it happens because when you list something on the Nefty marketplace, it will be listed on the Nefty marketplace, it will be listed on Atomic and on NFT Hive, and everything that is listed on Atomic or on NFT Hive, you will also be able to see it here. But the marketplace, for example, if someone listed something on Atomic and somebody else buys it on NeftyBlocks, the 2% fee is split between the two marketplaces. Each marketplace gets 1%. So
is it 1% maker, 1% taker? Is the way that
yes, it's 1% maker, 1% taker. Yes, cool. That's how it works.
That's really clever.
Yeah,
because I use like NFT Hive. They have a bulk like sell tool that I use often to list a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure it sells on Atomic Hub. So that means that Atomic Hub gets 1% and NFT Hive gets 1% of that fee.
yes, and I think that's very good. I think that's a very clever way of doing it from the guys from Atomic. It allows growth. It allows having more marketplaces, but still everybody's benefiting from that, and I think that's healthy competition.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because right now I'd say I know NFT Hive has been around for a while, but I wouldn't consider them a straight up competitor as far as their marketplace with Atomic Hub. Like it's Atomic Hub is like the clear number one marketplace. Like it's
absolutely
no contest at the moment. So bringing in this competition, I'm really, really excited to see that.
Also,
and
a lot of incentive.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's worth noting too that you don't have to have any Nefty tokens at all to earn these rewards. If you just use the NeftyBlocks marketplace with your wax, you're still earning Nefty rewards.
Yeah, this wallet you're looking at right now, Neon Fanatics, I earned 80 Nefty. I'm not staking Nefty on this wallet. This isn't like this is a hot wallet I use just for drops. It's not even my personal like holding wallet. So that was just for using the marketplace. But now you will also be able to earn those for just selling like you would on Atomic Hub if you list through Nefty. So that's pretty good incentive. And then you can use that Nefty to buy more NFTs from the collections you like. So I don't know if you like buying NFTs. It seems like a pretty good kickback for
helps you chase the dragon, you know.
Right. And on top of all that. Oh, sorry, go on.
On top of that, for the first 2 weeks of the marketplace, we will take some Nefty from our marketing allocation, and we will make the rewards ×2. So instead of sharing 150,000 Nefty, the first 2 weeks, we will be sharing 300,000 Nefty each week to celebrate that we have a marketplace.
So what you're saying is, if you've been waiting to buy any NFTs that you've been eyeing for a little while, wait till after tomorrow, and then buy them on the Nefty marketplace, and you'll get double the rewards that you would have otherwise got.
Do you have any teasers by chance as far as like what the UI will look like, what the style of the marketplace is? I mean, I think we all have things we love and hate about Atomic Hub as far as how it filters and how it shows things and how it displays stuff. So I mean, do you have a way that you can kind of show maybe how that would look, or do we have to hurry up and wait on that one?
Man. Okay, let's do something. It's not the version that will be published, but it's close to what will be published tomorrow. If you go to staging.neftyblocks.com.
I'm going for it, one sec. Oh, here we go.
You're getting the real stuff here in space.
And now go to collections and search search for alpaca words. Now click on alpaca words, and now you see the marketplace there. So click on the marketplace. So there's still some styling to be fixed.
So you can sort by price, created, mint. And then
and you can expand on the filters there.
Bundles, single. Oh, and you can just sort by all the schemas. Let's see if I want.
You can filter by schema, max price, min price, mints, and so on. And that's these are the initial filters that we will that we are providing. There will be more filters coming in the future. There's also something that changed. For example, now if you go and hover on the NFT, you have a small magnifying glass, so you can magnify the NFTs and see. Have a better look at what you are buying.
That's a nice little attention to detail. I do like.
Yeah, and well, if you log in, you will be able to buy, to cancel a sale if it's your NFT. If you go to my NFTs. You could, but I don't know if you have something from
I don't know
anyway. But normally you should be able to list your NFTs for sale from there. If
so
you go
from
to
that
the
page, it goes
tab,
to the market page.
Um,
like you listed on that page, like your selling page is your your wallet page then, right?
Yeah, you check what you have, and from there you can start directly listing them. And if you go to the missing tab, you will be able to go directly to the marketplace from this collection and buy the NFT.
Log in.
And this is really the initial version, because we have a lot of things that we already started working on, but we said no, I don't want to wait to release. We will release with the basic functionality. So now if you click on one of these and you say
you can buy on
a
Nefty
marketplace,
Nice.
Oops,
it opened it in a new tab.
It should open in the
I'm only sharing one tab, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, then it shows it in the marketplace. Oh, that's awesome.
It shows all of them too. Oh, that's cool.
And then you can sort by all this stuff as well, and you can bring your filters out.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's super cool.
Fuck yeah. And this is coming out tomorrow already.
Yes, that will be there tomorrow. So as I said, this is a very simple version of the marketplace. We want to add a lot of functionality, but yeah, we wanted to start releasing slowly, little by little, things that are already useful for the collections and for collectors.
I feel like things just keep popping up. Like, I don't know if it was always there, I just didn't see it, but the ability to export a list of pack openers I just found yesterday, and that was super helpful. We made a leaderboard. We now have a leaderboard of who's like opened the most packs on our most recent sale, and I was like, oh, that's like super easy to pull that data now because you guys just let us export it.
Yes, and that's also something that we are planning to build more leaderboards and many other things that collections should be able to have their own leaderboard here and see who are the top buyers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool. So just be part of it.
So here's something in the chat as far as giving an idea, but I guess in a broader sense, add a filter to hide items from templates you already own. I just as a broader strokes comment here, is there a way that like as far as giving feedback to you guys, as far as the platform as a whole, as far as how you could take feedback of like things that work, things that people would like to see? Is that through your Discord or like?
Yeah, right now on Discord we have a suggestions channel, and there we are taking note of everything. Many things that have been suggested are already in the works. Some have already been implemented. But yeah, that's at the moment that's the easiest way to do it. We still have to create proper channels, not only to manage these suggestions, but only to work the feature requests done by level 3 collections. But yeah, we are slowly working on all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this Discord link is the link to the NeftyBlocks Discord, just for continuity there.
There's definitely good, like, you guys do a really good job of, I feel like, listening to what people are saying in there and implementing this stuff, like the customer service side of all this stuff. So as somebody who's a collection owner and like level 3 or 4 or whatever the top level like staking thing, like I definitely, when I run into issues, I can get resolutions for those issues within like a day or two. And when I reach out to somebody on the team, I get a response, which is wild, considering that's not the norm in this space. Like,
yeah, and you know, it's fun because it's fun because I think, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, there was a problem with the super blender that you reported. And and I was surprised because Andreas told me, oh, I need to push this fix. I will push it out. Okay, who is this for? It's for Max. They are level 3. Okay, cool. And then she told me, oh, I tried to contact him back, but he's not responding. But I wanted to let him know that we already fixed the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the message too. It's like, that was so cool. Where it was like, we ran into an issue. I was able to work with him, troubleshoot it, find what the issue is, and then he was able to update the problem. And like now it's, yeah, that's so cool. I feel like we're because we do a lot of really elaborate super blends for our collection, like where there's like 6 versions of something you can pull, and you know, like lots of RNG kind of
We're
stuff.
also trying stuff that's like brand new. Like we just started trying to do the pre-minted stuff, and if you look in the pre-minted pool, there's like 10 collections in there. It's not like a massive thing that everybody's doing yet. So like we are kind of like figuring out the kinks while we go through it, but it's cool to be like, I guess, in such a groundbreaking tool where like we're some of the only people doing this, so nobody else had really just ran into it. Yeah,
I love that you guys are introducing the tools and we're using them so hard that we break them like right off the bat, which is that's how it should be. So and then when they break, you fix it and it works, and it's fun. And the thing like the issue that we were able to resolve it by like, okay, we got the assets back, we airdropped them to the community who participated and expected. So like we were able to, you know, make it work with the reality of how it went down. But it's not like nobody was upset because everybody was able to understand like, oh, this is all new, this is what happened, and you know, we're all humans, and we're you know, no one's perfect, and
it's also brand new. It's not like a proven thing that people can expect.
And now that feature, the pre-minting, I think that we will be moving that to collections level 2 and level 1 also.
Oh, nice.
And but we will introduce something new for level 3. So if not this week, the week after, we will release the whitelisting and proof of ownership for the Super Blender. So you will be able to say this NFT is proof of ownership. It's not going to be burned. So you will have more flexibility to your blends, and you will be able to create whitelists, which was not possible. So yeah, that's also coming to the Super Blender.
Hell yeah, that's cool. I love that. And I mean, we plan to be a level 3 stake. Like we got the level 3 stake when it came out, and I expect we're just going to keep that and keep as you guys roll out new things, we're going to implement them in our collection and do cool stuff with them, which is super fun.
Here's a question for you. I'm pivoting a little bit. Is there any plans to reintroduce blends for the Pioneer passes, or those like
the whale,
the whale tokens or whatever that you got from like opening packs?
The ones
selfishly, I'm asking for a friend.
You're asking for a friend. Okay. So tell your friend that yes. Well, there's something. The thing is that we're always coming with new ideas and new things, and that's also related with the incentivizing liquidity and things that we want to bring for the platform. But yes, you remember Betsy, right?
Yes.
Of course you remember Betsy. Betsy has a hat.
Just get the hat. She got the 3D glasses.
And the hat is magic. You will have to feed the hat with all those NFTs that are creating a lot of clutter and are crowding the space and are kind of useless. We will give some utility to all of those useless NFTs, and the hat will be able to eat those and give you cool stuff. So that's something we are working on.
Spring cleaning hat. You know?
Yes,
clean out your wallet, throw it in the sorting hat here. Oh my gosh, that's great.
On that note, you guys provide utility for not just like all, like you said, there's a bunch of clutter that people have, and you can create utility for it this way. But like you're able to now provide liquidity or utility to all of these projects' own currencies that, like, you know, we're living in like an NFT landscape now where every project creates their own fungible tokens too, and now you're creating a infrastructure basically that lets creators and collectors use those fungible tokens to, you know, directly interact with the marketplace. That's ridiculous utility that you're just like gifting to all these projects. It's amazing.
And wait, now that you mentioned that, this will not come next week, but it will be one of the upcoming features of the Super Blender, because it's already on the works also, and is that you will be able to ask for tokens as an ingredient of a blend.
Fuck yes.
Or you can also deliver tokens as the result of the blend. So those are things that we are working on, and I think that will make the space really fun.
Like you could blend NFTs and get like fungible tokens like Nefty back,
for example. Or you can say you have to you have these 3 NFTs plus 5 Nefty or plus 5 lithium or whatever. Then you get the result of the blend. So that will be also very, very cool, I think.
You think? I think so. That's fucking awesome. Especially that on the receiving end too. So you could, like, these collections who now create their token assets could create blends and stuff that issue more tokens or create new distribution models for those FTs. That's really fucking cool.
I mean, even beyond the FT thing, they make utility for NFTs. Like
Yeah.
we currently use the DIMs in our collection as a currency, and we can only do that because of the blend tools you've made. But like we can gamify collecting our collection because of the tools you've made. And like Wax, it's pretty obvious gaming is what makes the money, but people like active collecting, the collectors. So like you have to figure out a way for them to participate in collecting. And like blends was a really, really good way to do that. But like, I don't know, you're introducing more and more ways for us to engage with our community. So we definitely appreciate all the work you're doing.
It's wild.
Yeah,
you make it possible for so many people to create such cool experiences that they really wouldn't be able to do without your help.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is what Wax is all about. Because in the end, if you think about it, Wax is about microtransactions. Ethereum is for the high-priced NFTs, but here is microtransactions. You need volume. You need a lot of activity. If you want that activity, it has to be fun for people. So yeah, we need tools like this. That's the idea.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. Also, I am the KYs, right? I feel like allowing tokens into the blending function hopefully attracts more collection owners to start using the blends, because I mean we do a ton of blends because it's fucking awesome, but I'd love to see it in more collections, and I feel like maybe that's what keeps them from participating. So it's crazy that that's already being implemented.
Yeah, and something that we have been delaying, but now that we are growing our team, we hired, I think we have 3 additional developers hired recently. We will also start working on the filters for super blends, because it's when you have blends, when you are really using the blender, you end up with tons of blends, and it's very difficult for people to
we know about that.
Yes.
I feel like we may have given some feedback on that.
Yes,
I can share ours right now.
Blend cross schema would be just delightful.
Yeah, check out our super blend page. We have like, 6 versions of everyone, so you can do all the different. That's how we make our DIMs a currency, but we have to make a different one for each schema so the currency works. But it works, but we actually built like a front end thing on our website where like you can choose which sign you want and then the ingredients, then it takes you to the Nefty page. So like we kind of figured out a way to front end that, but it would be cool if you made it so you could just do it all in one blend page.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something
like that's coming, no doubt, too.
Yeah, the thing with that, and the reason why we haven't done it yet, is because it cannot be done interacting directly with the smart contracts. So we need an API, and we need to constantly feed that API and filter there. And that's also something that in the white paper we said we wanted to become a block producer, and for many people that's even kind of okay. Why? What do we get with that? But what the real win for Nefty block users, once we are a block producer, or well, at least now we're not a block producer yet, but the win there is that we have the infrastructure, and now we can have this endpoints, and we can have the queries that we need to make these filters happen. In the past, it was not possible because we simply didn't have the infrastructure to do it.
Yeah, damn. That's awesome. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that when the vote goes. I got to start shifting my voting to the NeftyBlocks block producing guild.
Cool.
I'm going to quickly show off our page. I actually close StreamYard to go to this, but this is just to show off what we did. You can pick the sign and then say select ingredients. And then these are the different like schemas we have. And you pick the schema by the card back. And then that will take you to the correct Nefty. Oh, never mind. It does not take you to the right blend page.
Psych.
Well, I need to fix that, but normally it should take you to the right. Weird.
Maybe are you on the real site or are you on staging?
I don't know. I wonder if our blend change numbers.
Because if you are still using the site I told you, you have a different URL, and then your
no, this should be still. This should be the normal one. Something got messed up in the.
I think it's on our. It's probably on our website end then.
Yeah, I think I have the wrong link.
I think we just have to adjust the links. Yeah.
Let's see if the other one works. It's good to learn our stuff doesn't work. I swear that was working like last week though, and I changed nothing, so I don't know why that would. Yeah, none of these are working.
Yeah, we'll have to relink them or something. But that's cool that they're updating that on the NeftyBlocks page too. We can keep it all more consolidated that way.
I'm curious why that's not working though. I need to figure this out for my own sanity. 1464.
Yeah.
That's right.
And there for you guys, if you want to embed the super blends on your website, we have something to do that. So maybe we can, if you ping me on Discord, not today because it's late, but tomorrow, I can share with you something that will help you embed your
I
blends
see what happened
on your website.
Oh man, that would be huge. That would be really
awesome.
great.
I see what happened though. The URL changed. The URL no longer is super. It just super goes away and it's 1464. So I just need to change the link. The link changed on the URL. But yeah, we'll update that to our audience.
I'm really interested.
Oh yes, then that's our fault. Because I think if you go to the blends and you list all the blends, let me see.
Yes, it changed from super blends is now before blends. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. That's the change. Yeah.
Well, now we know.
Nice. All right. I mean, we could just update that. But I also like what you're saying. Juan was saying that we can embed the blends directly on our website rather than
that would be super sick too.
Yeah, that's something we have, and we can share it with all the level 3 collections.
Oh, sick.
The other thing I wanted to mention about Nefty Token is obviously I bought into it right at the drop when that happens, and I'm a big fan all along. So, but that's because I'm partly like a collection owner. You are now adding a ton of utility for the token for just collectors as well. And I know I'm part of the Discord. Like I read all the suggestions and all this stuff just because I'm curious what people are saying. And I know there's been talk about like in the future potentially as a collector, letting collectors take their Nefty tokens, staking them possibly to a collection in return for like discounts or something like that. I know it's all just talk. None of that's been like confirmed as thing. But I think already you're starting to add all this utility now for Nefty token holders who aren't necessarily collection owners, in the sense that now I can buy and sell in Nefty and just farm tokens on the liquidity side of it. Like I can get
and this part that you mentioned, being able to stake for a collection, that's something we wanted to do since the beginning, but the complexity it added, and so we had to make some decisions there, especially because of the liquidity mining. Because if someone is staking for a collection, they should get part of the rewards.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you cannot stake more than a certain amount for a collection. Well, you can, but it's useless. You will not increase the rewards. So if people start staking a lot for a collection, then the rewards will be diluted excessively. So that's not good. So that's maybe I'm talking too much here, but that's part of what we are rethinking. And we think that when you do this kind of when you are staking to have access to features, or staking as a collection or as a collector, in the ideal scenario, we still don't know how to do it. You should be providing liquidity. But not regular liquidity, incentivized liquidity. And we should find a way to really incentivize people there. So that's what we are now thinking. Okay, how can we redesign the system so that this happens?
Yeah. I mean, as since you're getting into like the Wax governance side too, with being a guild, like I really like the way that the Wax blockchain does its liquidity incentive, where they require you to provide liquidity for a full duration of an epoch in order to be eligible for the rewards for that cycle. So like even if I provide liquidity to the pool for like 3 weeks in a 1 month cycle, I get nothing for that. I have to be there from the start all the way to the end, and then you get something.
Yes.
So that might be, I don't know. I really like that model where it's like, you know, it's incentivized not just to participate, but also to participate at a set duration of time at the very least.
I do like the idea of staking to collections, because as collection owners ourselves, that gives us the ability to incentivize staking to us as our own collection, to say, like Max has said, maybe give discounts or airdrops or some sort of unique thing. So that just gives us, as our own project, more utility to reward our own collectors too.
Yeah.
So maybe the need for you guys to incentivize staking at collection isn't on Nefty, it's on the project themselves to provide value to their collectors, to stake to them, to help them out, to make their project grow and get extra tools.
I mean, there's people like, I know our friend Jake from Mercenary Art Studios, he was trying to raise Nefty to get to level 3, and he has his own token. He has the Monster token for his game that he's coming out with, Monster Strike. So he could even be like, if you stake to me, you get Monster Strike back. And like, I think collections could figure out ways to build value for staking for them, because they know what the collectors want more than anybody.
But it is great to have an extra avenue to build a community, and that just gives us the platform to do that.
I do think the most fundamentally important thing for the success of Nefty Token is a deep liquidity pool. So I do still agree with Juan that the ideal scenario is staking provides that token value into the pool. But yeah, but what you could do, I guess this is more complicated though, but you could have people supply Nefty Token and Wax to the liquidity pool, which results in Nefty Wax token. And then you could create a way for people to stake Nefty Wax token.
Yeah, that was exactly one of the ideas that we were exploring, that the Nefty staking should not be done in Nefty, but in Nefty Wax.
Exactly.
That's very common in the DeFi space to like stake the V2 tokens that represent your position in the liquidity pool on like Uniswap, and then you get an additional token or an additional value, that proposition that could then be used to say, I don't know, get more Nefty, or you get NFTs or so on and so forth.
Dude, I'm so deep in those types of positions that the token I'm currently getting is called FRAX3CRV-F. Because it's like a liquidity position wrapped into something else, wrapped into a third thing. Like
it gets pretty confusing, but it does offer a lot of utility. So
it gets ridiculous. But if you pay attention, you like, the thing is, you don't have to like trust some magic like a middleman or something. The facts are, it's all blockchain stuff. So it's like, sure, it is wrapped into 3 or 4 layers of this shit, but like at no point am I not in control of my assets.
Yeah, the one Max is referring to is that he stakes a token, gets a different token representing his position in that liquidity pool, then stakes that, and then that developer gets him points, and the points can then be spent to buy NFTs that can only be bought with these points that are generated by staking this token. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it like a lot, but just the general idea of how these things work. So then, you know, the reward for you having a liquidity position passively creates these points to then get access to these NFTs that are only accessed through this medium, which therefore creates a lot of scarcity and rarity.
It's complex, and there's not many people participating in them, but the pools are worth literally millions of dollars because the incentives are worth it, and the people participating are throwing real money into it. So
before we get too deep into DeFi
on Wax?
No, that's on Ether.
No, they're like Ethereum pools.
Okay.
Yeah, Ethereum, Matic. I think Avalanche.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll nerd out on DeFi offline here.
Yeah,
we'll go down the rabbit hole real hard.
I know Wax is attracting that same economy very soon. If you look at their DeFi bridge at the moment, you can bridge tokens like wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, US dollar coins, DAI, Tether. All of that shit can already be wrapped into the Wax blockchain, and with those assets comes a different class of investor, I would say, than we currently see on Wax. And those people are much more interested in participating in a liquidity pool for 6 months without looking at it, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's the space that they're coming from, and the value in those spaces, you know, ideally comes with them. So I'm really excited for the next phase of the
Do you have any final questions for Juan? We're about to get to an hour here. I figure we'll close up on FT, and then we're going to do some marble giveaways, but I don't want to make Juan sit through that. So do you have any closing questions, Max?
First of all, thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing everything. I'm so fucking excited for tomorrow now. Everything like launching and everything you've done with Nefty is so cool. I guess I ask my questions on Discord and I get answers very quickly, which is great. So I just want to say thanks for like coming and sharing and like getting me more excited than I already was. But yeah, I don't know if I have any final questions though. I guess the last thing that I was thinking is the liquidity providing, like incentivizing liquidity. I really like the idea personally of asking people to stake Wax Nefty token and then requiring that stake to mature to a specific epoch before it generates some kind of a return. As far as somebody who participates in liquidity mining and has done this kind of stuff for years and years, those projects that tend to do that type of model are still holding the value that I put into them years ago today. And the distribution model, sure, over time has been less. You know, obviously when I first started liquidity mining some shitcoin like years ago, it was like 200% APY because no one was farming those pools. Today it's like, you know, like 25%. But the value of the network is strong, the pools are deep, and the function of the currency now works because the distribution model worked to get the token into the hands of the community, and they did that through the community supplying liquidity, and lo and behold, today the community supplies liquidity. You know, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how all that develops on Wax, and specifically with Nefty, because Nefty is like one of my favorite projects. Of all the tokens that aren't Wax, I would say Nefty is number 2 for me.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Huge fan. You guys, not only is it provide immense value to collection owners and creators by accessing these tools, but you're supplying now utility for these creators to be able to like use the fungible tokens they're creating and to like create all this extra utility. And you're now introducing a whole host of utility for non-collection owners, just collectors. I don't know, it's going to be really fun to pay attention to. And the last thing I want to say, it's not really a question as much as a personal like thought on all this stuff, is I know that the distribution model of Nefty tokens has been adjusted week over week to try to figure out like the best way to move forward with that. And the model itself is positioned to continue doing this for years, like 6 or 7 years, if I did my math right.
7 years at least.
7 years. Okay,
that's a long time in crypto years.
Yes.
So,
very long time.
and NFT years are dog years in crypto years. So the fact that you have you maybe don't have the perfect model in place at the moment, and I can't argue that, you know, if someone tells me like, oh, this model isn't like, it's gameable, it's this or that, it's like I maybe won't be able to defend it perfectly, but my defense always is you're right, but they are adjusting it every week. They're paying attention to what's working, what doesn't work, and they have the ability to continue to do so for years to come. So if the model is broken this week, that isn't the end of the world, considering it's 1 week of a 7-year planned distribution. And you guys are really making a lot of the right calls, I think. It definitely feels like a project that is being built for longevity, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
And you know, thank you for that. And you know, there's something very important for me. And we could stop and say, okay, let's think about what's the perfect model. But if we wait until we figure out the perfect model, we will never launch. I'd rather launch today and adjust with real information, with information that the community is giving us, with that the market is giving us, and then we can adjust and create something very solid. And that will happen, maybe not next week, maybe not over the next 3 weeks, but it will happen in time, and we will have something very solid. And as you said, we're here for years. We're not thinking about weeks or days. We're not making about quick money or whatever. We're really thinking here for the long term.
Yeah, and that's very clear in the decision making and the like process of like what has been coming out and how it's been going. It's clearly not about this quarter. It's very clearly about building an infrastructure that it can last, you know, for the duration of the Wax blockchain, which hopefully is forever.
Forever, yeah.
I have a quick question. So have you? I may have asked this last time, but honestly, I forget. I smoke too much. But like, governance, like, have you thought about doing governance models for some of, like, you know, because this is kind of a long evolving thing that takes in a lot of feedback, whether that I guess governance in general, and then we can maybe dive in if it's like based on level 1, 2, 3 or what have you.
Yeah, that's something we definitely need to discuss slower, because it's a very extensive topic. But yes, we have thought of that. But the challenge right now, I wanted to find an open source DAO platform that I could implement on Wax, but I was not able to find anything. And I said, okay, let's go and look for something on EOS so that we can port it here. But I haven't been able to find something that, that I think really works. So, so yeah, we are still figuring out how to do that, but it will happen.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Well, yeah, I appreciate your answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to hit you with my favorite DAO project that does like governance is the feature. Like,
okay,
they do
cool.
it really fucking well.
Are you talking about Decred?
Yeah.
Max
Decred. It's probably top 10 Decred fanboy on the planet.
All right, yeah. I mean, I've been in the project since it launched in 2016, and I've been like participating in the governance model since then.
He's an avid voter.
Mining it and everything. And obviously, I'm biased as hell, but to me, their governance setup solves every issue I've ever had with blockchain in general. Like, Bitcoin was the first one for me, and I was like, well, for starters, who the fuck is paying people to develop code on Bitcoin, and what are their motivations? Are they my motivations? I don't know, and I can't tell. Secondly, like, if I own $10 million worth of Bitcoin, how much say do I get in how Bitcoin gets developed further? Dick. And is that acceptable to me as someone with $10 million stake? I don't know. So those types of things are really, really addressed on a on-chain fundamental level by the project. I'll send you the stuff. It's fascinating. But again, it's, the whole project is just governance, store of value. It doesn't have like a DeFi layer to like all this crazy shit. It literally just is like Bitcoin, but with governance built into the blockchain.
Okay, that's interesting.
But yeah, it's basically like the way they do it is like it's Bitcoin style, where it's like proof of work. It's being mined. Every block that gets mined, there's a proof of stake layer where the token holders lock up their tokens into like a stake tickets. The stake tickets are randomly called, so 5 per block get called to then vote and validate the block. So that way, if the mining community, the proof of work community, starts doing weird shit like raising the block size or like making some bullshit that's going to fork the network, unless they also have majority support from the staking community, that block is not validated and is removed, and therefore the chain cannot fork, the chain cannot fracture. The proof of work miners are held accountable by the proof of stake holders, and the distribution, basically the reward, the block reward for minting, is split. 60% goes to the proof of work miners still, and then it's like 30% goes to the proof of stake, so the people who are staking their currency. So that way the people who hold the token have a say in the development direction of the network, but also 10% gets put into a project treasury that gets used to then distribute to work that is implemented into the blockchain, and that work gets implemented by people making it, and then basically publishing the work, and then the community of currently staking ticket holders voting to yes or no implement that, and if it passes the vote, it becomes part of the blockchain. So it's all very decentralized and funded by itself, and currently I think that treasury is worth like $100 million. So they've been going since 2016. It's been paying for itself, everything transparent, everything on chain through voting, everything. Now even that $100 million is held by a smart contract account. It's not even, there isn't a point of failure anymore with a human involved, where somebody could, like I don't know if you follow like Dash or something, where it's like, sure, you can vote, but at the end of the day, it's the super node who decides what to do. And so it's like, I mean, it's more or less, that's a decentralized suggestion box, whereas Decred is a decentralized autonomous organization that runs based on the governance of its stakeholders. Again, it's a really complicated kind of thing, and again, it doesn't have all the cool like sex appeal of DeFi, but as far as like building a real store of value asset that is governed by its holders, they figured it out, in my opinion.
I think we've officially gotten into the weeds. I'd like to thank Juan for joining us. I'm gonna hop into the giveaways now, so like you don't have to keep hanging out with us for the giveaways. But thanks so much for joining us. Learned a lot. I'm super stoked for the market tomorrow. I'm gonna start. I mean, I'm not going to list my Neon Space stuff, but I might list some other collection stuff on the Nefty market tomorrow to see if I can get some of that sweet Nefty kickback.
Buy a lot over the next couple of weeks to mine
Double
double
return.
rewards.
I gotta cancel
Double
all my
rewards,
listings.
baby.
It's really a last thing here. It's important to note, if you list your stuff for sale on NeftyBlocks, you can still buy it on Atomic Hub. People will still see it on Atomic Hub. It's the same. The only difference is you get a bigger kickback.
Well, you get a kickback.
Yeah, you get a kickback at all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So heads up.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on
again,
the
Juan.
project. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, guys, thanks for having me here, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much again. Like, you guys you make such a good product. I'm a huge fanboy, obviously.
Okay, thanks.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.